Is Chatgpt making us dumb and lazy? Well, that's the question we're going to ask ourselves in this episode of today's Misguided Mentors. Welcome back, guys. I wanted to talk about this topic just because I made a post about this on Instagram. Shout out to the Instagram right now if you guys are watching. And it's just been on my mind throughout the day periodically, especially because, there's some people that made comments and it's just been on my mind. Let's put it that way. I've always been irritated with ChatGPT ever since it came out. Obviously, it had the wow factor to it, just like everybody else. When it was new and it was fresh. It was like, wow, this is pretty cool. This is crazy. Nobody's seen anything like it. The ability to type something in and get literally a generated answer or response, get something formulated for you, and then tweak it to the best of your ability to make it sound like it was something you wrote. That was new to everybody. And everybody was like, holy shit, what is this? This is awesome. However, for me, the wow factor quickly diminished. It actually, I immediately seen some, and I'm not like pessimistic. I guess sometimes I could be, but when it came to Chat GPT and AI in general, I really just noticed that it was, in my opinion, going to do a lot more harm and kind of do the human a disservice when it comes to creativity. And so I wanted to talk a lot about that. Not a whole lot to talk about, but we'll see where it goes. You know how this happens. Sometimes I'll have a few different ideas and then thoughts come to me in real time. So that's the beauty of doing live streaming. If you are, what's up, Christine? Anybody else that's on Instagram right now? How you guys doing? Hey, let me encourage you, go over to the YouTube channel, Today's Misguided Mentors. If you haven't subscribed to that, please do that. I'm trying to migrate everybody over to that. So let's get right into this. ChatGPT. So this has been coming up for me even more so lately because I kind of hit a little valley with writing my third book here, Today's Misguided Mentors. And that's like a passion book to me. Like, this is definitely going to be not only obviously the best book I ever written, but I think really an impactful and powerful book that nobody's ever seen or read yet. So I'm really happy about it. I'm super excited. And I've generated more excitement, especially because I finally found it like a good book cover design that was meaningful. And if you haven't seen that, I posted that on my Instagram too. It was really cool when I had to play around with AI actually help me with that, to be honest. But it took a while, and in that sense, AI was helpful because I was looking for something specific to be created, and I just couldn't find a picture of it, a real picture of it. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll use AI. But it wasn't something simple. Like I think I sat there for half an hour just generating and generating until I seen something that was exactly what I was looking for. And finally it came up, and it wasn't too over polished. It was exactly the symbolic image that I was looking for to convey something meaningful for what this book is all about. And that being Today's Misguided Mentors, and basically how I am helping entrepreneurs identify misguided mentors and navigate the self-development matrix. So it was perfect. So in that sense, it was good. However, when it comes to writing the actual book and forming my own thoughts and sharing my experiences and using the words that I usually use to speak on a normal everyday basis, I keep that in the book. Like, I would never chat GPT my book. All that stuff that I'm writing is coming straight from the mind and the heart and the soul, and it's me. Like, you can feel it when you read it. You'll know, like, you can tell if it was written by ChatGPT or if it was actually written by a human being. All the books, the 2 books I wrote, was all me writing it. And I see all these ads being thrown out. Write a book in a day. We'll show you how to write 3 books in a week. And like, in a day and age where everybody and their mom has 10 ebooks written, it's like the value and the quality has diminished drastically. So and it's just taken the effort out of it. It's made people, in my opinion, it's making people dumb and lazy, to put it bluntly. It's showing people how to do things with less effort, which is not always a good thing. It's showing people how to do stuff, I guess fast, but in this case, it's doing the person a disservice, because when we're talking about something that involves making a connection with human beings together, it's not a good thing to shortcut. It's not a good thing to fast track it, and it's not a good way. It doesn't make sense to figure out a way to chop that process up and water it down and just make it less meaningful. Like, we're humans, we want to make that connection, and we want to actually hear something or read something that feels like it came from someone's heart, so we can feel their emotions and we can feel that we can be brought into that moment. And I think ChatGPT has taken that away. And so I jotted down some notes here. I want to just kind of, it's obviously this always happens, right? I jot down notes, but I've already talked about quite a bit of the things I was going to talk about anyway. But let's just dive into these things that I wrote down. So let's talk about the reduction of effort. It definitely reduces the effort, right? Instead of actually taking time to form your own thoughts and type or write or whatever your process is with writing a book or creating a PowerPoint presentation or writing a manifesto or anything that involves writing or doing copy, or even if it's something as simple as writing a comment in a section or messaging somebody, reducing the effort by generating something that you didn't say, it has no human connection, has no emotion involved in it, and people can usually feel that. I can. At least people who are really in touch with themselves and can really pay attention to their intuition, you can tell. Like, I can certainly tell if something has been written by ChatGPT or if someone actually took their time to write it. I really can. I don't even have to know that person to know that. At least 9 times out of 10. Maybe, I'm not perfect, but I feel like 9 times out of 10, or there's a high probability that I can tell by reading something like, oh, this was written by ChatGPT, or oh, this is actually somebody's like real feelings, real emotions, real words. This is how they actually convey themselves in real life. So yeah, it reduces the effort in doing that. And just reducing the effort in itself is pretty self-explanatory. Like, if you're looking for ways to cut your effort on stuff, that takes the growth process out of it as well. Because I mean, writing stuff, especially like real personal stuff, when you're talking about writing a book or talking about like writing something that's helpful to people, you got a skill or something you're trying to share with people. If you're going to reduce your effort in that, the impact is going to reduce as well. So I would never suggest someone to do that. And if you're looking to shortcut, fast track, pump out, crank out volume and stuff like that, then that's serving yourself. And if you have a real interest to impact somebody and serve somebody and help them in any way, and you have a message or you're trying to share your story and you feel like sharing your story is actually going to impact somebody, then don't reduce your effort. Like, put your effort into it. Stop being lazy and just do it. Like, it's going to pay off for both people in the long run. It's going to pay off for you. You're going to be happy you did it. It's going to feel more rewarding. And then the person that actually consumes that content, reads that book, hears your presentation, reads your comment, whatever format you're delivering it in, it's going to fall on their ears with some actual impact and have some feeling and emotion behind it. So I would never try to reduce the effort. And it goes back to the discipline I was talking about yesterday on that post, actually. So reducing effort means you're reducing your discipline also. Most people, I feel like, have a hard time, even when you hear like someone who's written a lot of books, like authors who are pretty established, they're multi-published authors, they'll tell you, like, sometimes I don't feel like writing. They'll like listen to them talk about how it takes discipline to bring themselves to write. Like, you heard the term writer's block, right? Well, I think discipline, when we're talking about that in regards to yesterday's post, when it comes to discipline and writing something, it's very much a part of the process, and it contributes to the quality of something that when you're actually writing it. And when you reduce the effort, you're reducing the quality. So yeah, all those things are going to be reduced. The impact, the message, the meaning, the feeling, and ultimately the quality. And so I don't think people really want to do that. I think what's going on is mentors, misguided mentors are actually teaching people to do this. There's been a narrative that's been created in doing this with these stupid ads I always see all the time that are like, hey, write a book in a day. Have our team write a book for you. This is actually why I don't like ghostwriting either. And this is just my opinion, like I'm not saying if you have had a book ghostwritten or you Chatgpt your ebook or all that. I'm not like making fun of you, just my opinion. I think that you did yourself a disservice, and all those things I just talked about that are happening when you use ChatGPT happened. You reduced your impact, you reduced your quality, the meaning and the emotion was eliminated. So I think you really just shortchanged yourself, and more importantly, the person that was supposed to be impacted, they didn't get impacted as much as you could have because you decided to reduce your effort and you decided to cut corners by using ChatGPT. All right, so that's my opinion when it comes to that. All right, what's the other note I put here? It makes things too easy. So it kind of just ties in with what I was saying. Everything that's just so easy, it just eliminates the growth in that, like the personal growth with that process. I like writing for that reason. When I write something, this book I'm writing, it actually brings back memories, and I'm like, oh man, that's, I forgot all about that. And like, I get excited about, there's some things that I'm not excited about remembering, but I'm excited about sharing it. You know what I mean? And so I think making it too easy, it also does yourself a disservice of reflecting on stuff that you want to write about. Because when you start reflecting, that just brings out that natural emotion and you start writing within that emotion. This is something ChatGPT can't do. ChatGPT cannot convey emotions. All right. They are just words. And I know that people might think, if you're someone who believes in energies, you believe in like, spirituality and intuition and stuff like that, there's definitely power in words. And just having ChatGPT type out a bunch of fancy words and put them in such a perfect order to make it just seem unbelievably good, I think in most cases, it just reduces the power and the energy that normally would have been conveyed just by you naturally talking the way you normally do and sharing things the way you normally do. So what I'm trying to say is I wrote this down because I said this to my friend Jeff when we were kind of DMing on this topic today. The things that ChatGPT can't do are the most important. That's what I told him. And I 100% agree with that. And I've already explained that in many, many ways, how that's possible and why that is. So yeah, I talked about that. Everybody and their grandma can write a ebook nowadays and I think ebooks are kind of overrated in my opinion, unless it's not meant to convey emotional impact or really have much meaning behind it like that. It's literally just an informational ebook and you're just trying to get something out like a robot. I mean, if that's your intention, then yeah, ChatGPT, that's the thing for you. But if you're trying to connect, which most people are trying to do, or most people would like to do, like a lot of people aren't going to write a book or an ebook if someone doesn't feel something from it. If you told somebody that was writing it like, hey, this isn't going to be felt, like the readers are going to see this and they're just saying, I feel it, and they're not going to be attracted to it, and they're not going to feel like they got value out of it just because there's no emotion. If you told the person writing that, they would probably not use ChatGPT. But we've been taught that, especially now it's been out for a couple years. A lot of misguided mentors in the coaching space and entrepreneurial space, mentorship space, they're all promoting this. ChatGPT, speed up your time. Your time's important, like figure out ways to crank out stuff in volume. It's become quantity over quality now, and I've never been a fan of that. I'm always about quality over quantity, even if it takes longer. All right. Yeah, I think it not only makes a person dumb, but it's making people lazy. It's making everybody lazy. Shortcuts, the whole playbook to doing things super fast, super easy. It's the easy road, and it's the opposite of discipline that I was just talking about. So if you're claiming that you have a high discipline, ChatGPT is just making you lazy, and you're not disciplined in that regard. In that sector, you're failing at discipline, all right? And maybe you're okay with that, but again, when it comes to impacting people, you don't want to be lazy. I don't want to be lazy. Like, and a lot of people don't really have, maybe it's not for everybody. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm not trying to help anybody. I'm not trying to impact people. I'm not trying to share my story or my message or anything. And so if that's your thing, then okay. But for those who want to do that and know that they can do that, know that they should do that, or have a calling to do that, don't be lazy. Don't be using ChatGPT. Put in the effort and take the time and write your feelings on paper. Write down and convey yourself like you normally do in real life and make the real impact. One thing I said already was writing takes discipline, and I think I brought that up. Most people, whether you are traditionally a writer or not, it takes discipline to put your pen to the pad or type, whatever it is. It takes discipline, and so ChatGPT is counterproductive to discipline and actually sitting down and writing it. All right, this is something I want to bring up. I think I already said this part, so I'll say this. But ChatGPT cannot tell a story with emotion. That's one thing ChatGPT can't do as well. Sure, you can create a fake story or just put in the details of your story, and it's going to just spit out something to the best of its ability. But it just can't convey a story with real emotion. It just can't. All right, and so the last thing I want to make sure I touch base on is what I briefly brushed over earlier, and that is that it diminishes the creativity in us, and it diminishes the results in the outcome as well. So I think people need to understand that we are losing our creativity by using ChatGPT, and that's pretty sad, actually. Like, being encouraged to shortcut, operate with cranking out some volume on projects and getting things done, that is actually reducing your creativity. And I think creativity is like super important for people to get excited with things. Creativity, it just keeps the excitement in someone's life. Like, if you have nothing to be creative for, or nothing in your life that encourages you to be creative, music, just anything, coming up with ideas for family activities, surprising someone with a gift or something cool, any type of creativity, small or big, doing a PowerPoint presentation, writing books, building businesses, whatever. Like, if nobody has, some small sense of creativity in their life, I feel like there's a bit of you that's actually dying. And I feel like most people that aren't exercising creativity in their life are probably feeling like they're missing something, and probably not the happiest, or they're maybe putting on and faking it a little bit. But I think creativity is one of the beautiful things about living, and I'm super thankful for being excited and having a creative mindset. And so maybe that's why I don't really care for ChatGPT so much, because I'm a pretty creative person, and ChatGPT doesn't encourage creativity. Maybe it does on a small, it kind of does, I guess, right? Maybe I'm giving ChatGPT a bit of a harder time, but I guess if you can get creative on putting the right bit of information in there so that it can spit out something decent, but it's nowhere near creating something yourself. So it's almost like giving a little bit of creativity to the platform, to the software, just enough so that the software can be creative for you. That's what it feels like. It's like you're just doing a little bit of the work and then laying it up for the rest of the creativity to be done by a freaking robot, AI, artificial intelligence. And so I think now that I think about it, I just had that thought. I think that's what my issue is with ChatGPT. it just diminishes creativity. And I'm a super creative dude. And so if anybody is creative and you listen to this, let me know if I'm onto something. Let me know if you feel the same way about ChatGPT. Already, I've had a couple people in the Instagram, in my messages, and on commenting on the post I made, letting me know why they also agree with me, and elaborated and shared their thoughts on it too, which I was in complete agreement with. And yeah, ultimately what they were saying is, it's killing humanity, it's killing that human connection, it's killing our creativity within ourselves, and so it's not a good thing. It's just not. But yeah, I just realized that now. My bone that I pick with ChatGPT is that it's trying to kill people's creativity. So if there's people that, I think we all got some type of creativity in us, but those whose creative light has been dimmed are probably the ones that are gravitating towards ChatGPT, if I had to guess, because it makes it easy. You don't have to put much effort into it, and that's probably the biggest. That's what ChatGPT is catering to. The majority of the people that like ChatGPT are the ones who don't really feel like being creative, or are just not in a creative state, a mind state, the state of mind rather. Whether it's now or they've just always been like that. So I can see that now. And now I'm just making hypotheses and hypotheses, I guess is what you would call it. But I feel like that makes kind of some sense to me. But anyways, I really don't like ChatGPT. I really don't. I know people who use it quite a bit all the time. And then obviously, like I said, there's a lot of mentors and coaches out there that really encourage ChatGPT. There's people that make courses on how to use AI, ChatGPT. I've never been a fan of, when someone tried to encourage me to automate my messages in my construction company. They were, telling me you should have the automated messages, and I didn't care. Like, if it took me hours to respond to people, I took the time to respond to people genuinely. And I didn't take my time and write a novel, but I did take time, a little bit of time, to reach out and say, hey, thanks for reaching out. My name is Ben. I'm the owner of the company. I just want to let you know I got your contact information. What's your phone number? What's the city you're located in? Or depending on what they said, like, I would, move the process along and reach out to them myself. I wouldn't have some automated AI generated response. The thought of that repulsed me, and so I really got irritated when people would try to suggest that to me. Like, no, man, you need this going, because you need to free your time. You need to be able to have this automated. That way you can free your time to do everything else and work on the business. Like, in my opinion, that was not very good advice. And I was still able to respond to people. So, and we did a lot of business, like lots of business. And I was busy all the time doing all kinds of other stuff. But I was never too busy to realize the respect, the authenticity, the professionalism, and actually taking the time to respond to people. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of automated responses and AIs. Matter of fact, it reminds me of who did that? Me and Malia did an Instagram live where I was poking fun at Ed Milet, which I think Ed Milet is a pretty decent guy. However, he he sent me an automated response when I took the time. I sent him a personal video talking on camera, and I complimented him or something like that. I can't remember what I said, or maybe I didn't. I can't remember what the original correspondence was. I sent him a video, though, 100% sent him a video, and he sent me an automated generated response. And again, maybe he's blown up. No, you know what? Let me explain the story, because now I just answered my own question. There's no maybe to it. So he sent me an automated message. It was long, and he was saying like, oh God, I don't remember. It was a long though, and it was saying, thanks for reaching out. Something like, sign up to have access to my podcast. something, something, something. I think he was even pitching me something like a service. There was talk of money involved in the message, maybe something like that. I don't know, but first it rubbed me wrong that it was automated, and then the pitch came in an automated message. So I was just like, this is fucking terrible. So I sent him another video message, and I was like, hey man, I took the time to send you an actual personal video, and I don't really appreciate getting an automated response to do business with you and join your podcast and do this and do that. And then I did a live with Malia breaking this message down, him and Dan Henry too, which I can't stand Dan Henry. That dude's really a misguided mentor. But, and by the way, I'm not saying Ed Milet is a misguided mentor. There's a couple things I've also poked fun with him before. I think deep down and generally speaking, out of everybody I call out, he is a pretty solid dude. He's nothing like, some of these other guys I call out. So I'm not giving him too much of a hard time. There was just a couple things I didn't agree with him on, and I called him out. But anyways, he did respond to me. He did take finally, he did take the time. And I think I put it in my highlight on my Instagram and recorded it. But he sent me some voice notes. And he was like, I'm in bed, I'm just sending you some voice notes just to respond to you. He's like, he said a lot. He was like, I noticed you don't follow me. Oh, that's right. I was talking about how men, real men cry and aren't afraid to cry and stuff like that. And I can't remember why I said that, but he started talking about that. He's like, I think, yeah, totally. I agree with you. And he was just, he's like, but he got upset that I was calling him out and, wish me the best still. So he had some good energy with it. But the whole point I'm trying to say is that all started because I sent him a personal video and then he responded with an automated reply and by using Chatgpt, and I couldn't fucking stand it. And so I ended up calling his bullshit and saying, dude, this is terrible business. Like, I take the time to respond to people, and the fact that you sent me this garbage, it actually makes me sick, or I don't know, something like that. But anyways, it was pretty fun, or it's pretty funny rather, and he did actually respond to me, and so I did get some, some of his time. He did take the time. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say ChatGPT is making people dumb and lazy, all right? It just flat out is. If you don't agree with me, if you help me make sense of why ChatGPT is not making people dumb and lazy, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Put it in the chat, put it in the comments. If you watch this video later, I'd love to hear how ChatGPT is making people smarter and I wouldn't say more productive, because technically speaking, it is making people more productive in terms of volume. However, if it's okay, how is ChatGPT making people smarter and more disciplined? There we go. If you can help me understand that and help me make sense of that and help me believe that, you'd be helping me out. But I don't see it. In my experience of what I've been seeing, of me playing around with it and trying with it, trying to see if it's any good, it's just a waste of time, and it's not helping, and it's doing more harm than good. So, and especially when we're talking about writing stuff, we're talking about writing books, like I said, copy, comments, PowerPoint presentations. I mean, nowadays I think it's really cool that AI generated art. That's really cool. But again, that could even be said and argued that that's taking away from the creativity. But it's a little different when we're talking about visual artwork than articulating emotions and conveying oneself through words. And I think that's the big problem I have with ChatGPT when it comes to conveying yourself through words. I'm a little more, well, I would say a lot more. I'm a lot more okay with people using artificial intelligence to generate visual artwork, just because that kind of blows me away. I'm just like, that's so crazy how you could just type in some stuff. I met a guy who showed me a really cool AI program, and you could literally type anything in there, like show me a a dragon in a dress, ice skating on a different planet or something like that. And it would just generate like 20 different very, very cool visual graphics very quickly. And it was just really fascinating how I was able to do that. And I thought it was cool. Again, when we're talking about visual artwork, you're not going to be able to convey as much feeling, or there's definitely not going to be enough as much appreciation with something that's been automatically generated than versus someone who's taken time to actually draw something with their own hand, their own paint or pen and ink or pencil or whatever. I got a huge appreciation for artwork. I've been an artist since I was a kid, not like professionally, but I'm pretty decent at drawing and semi okay at painting. So I have a huge passion for art and that creativity as well. And so I'm actually quite shocked that I like AI generated artwork. I think, I don't know, it's just interesting to me. But I am less annoyed with that than I am about ChatGPT generating copy and words and stuff like that. How's it going, Anne? Yeah, so you were saying you agree, and we don't need any more responses, no more reasons for people to do less, especially with their brains. 100%, yeah. And I think ChatGPT and then ChatGPT itself is not encouraging people to. Obviously, ChatGPT is just a system, but people are encouraging others to use ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is the tool the addictive tool that people are gravitating towards to just pump something out. And I think the fascination with that is maybe where people are overusing it. And I think there's some instances where people just don't even realize that it's making them dumb and lazy, or that it's reducing their creativity, or that it's reducing their effort, it's reducing their impact, reducing their emotions and their meaning to when that hits someone else. I think that we're so misguided by some of these mentors who are teaching and promoting and encouraging, this is what you should do, that we just do it, don't question it. And in that process, all these things start to diminish with that, which is why it's so important, which is why this is a relative topic to today's misguided mentors, is because this is the type of shit that they're teaching. Like, I hear all the time. I would go to a network event and there was always at least one speaker or several people in a room talking, even on a private networking group where they were eating or just hanging out afterwards. AI always gets brought up. AI always gets brought up, and my response is always the same. I'm just like, yeah, it's not my thing. Like, I'm not down with AI. It's quite annoying to me, actually. And then I get into a conversation with someone trying to convince me why AI is a good thing, and it's round and round we go. And I've never had a conversation with someone, and I'm open to hearing other people's viewpoints on AI, and how maybe I could be wrong, but I just don't see it when it comes to what I'm generally trying to say about AI. The bullet points are that it's going to encourage less effort, which is making you lazy. It's decreasing your creativity. Not good, right? I think we could all agree to that. It's not, you're not able to convey real emotion and a meaning through it. So it's just like all these things that I've noticed and I feel like are pretty valid. They're just not good. They're not good for humanity in general. So, yeah, exactly. And you're saying you don't like the hard push to use ChatGPT, and the business-based automation is the new fad. Exactly. I've heard that so many times. I cannot tell you how many times I've been pitched automated services, especially when it comes to responses. Most people get the same feeling when you get an AI-generated response, whether it's a business email, or especially in business, like you were saying, Ann, whether it's a business email or you DM'd somebody on Facebook or Instagram and you get an automated message, or a text that's automated. The only way I would be okay with automation is if it segues into a real connection with the human being. Let me give you an example. So if I was to finally give in to an automated response, let's say text message. Let's say I'm so busy that, which is going to be a good thing, right? I hope I get this busy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I get busy, but I always make time to reach out to people and respond. But let's just say I get way too busy and it's just impossible to respond to everybody. I would only use ChatGPT to let them know I received whatever correspondence from you, and I don't want to, I don't want to leave you hanging. So I'm just letting you know I received it. I will be in touch with you very shortly. I appreciate you reaching out, whatever. I wouldn't automate and act like I'm someone responding or pitch something, an automated response, join my whatever, my email list, join my podcast. In the meantime, check this out. Are you interested in a $5 course? It's just not, it's not genuine. And people can feel that, you know what I mean? So I think everybody has the same feeling when they see an automated response. And that's the only way I would ever use it is if I was just letting somebody know, hey, just letting you know I received your contact and I look forward to chatting with you, but I will be in touch with you myself shortly. Appreciate your patience. Something like that, My intention would be to eventually talk to them, not funnel them through an automated response. So anyways, this world, I tell you, I always, now that we're talking about AI and ChatGPT, we're definitely getting closer and closer to robots running the planet, right? A lot of jobs already being taken by robots. A lot of jobs being taken by AI, ChatGPT even. And so is that a good thing? No, it's not. Because I feel like the people that were doing those jobs, obviously some of those jobs, like if we're talking about a human being buffing the floors of Walmart and their job got replaced because now there's an automated buffering system that does that job for them. A little bit different, that person wasn't really impacting somebody, conveying emotion or meaning through his floor buffing job, right? So it's all in context, but when we're talking about business and especially on like the self-development space, 9 times out of 10 in the self-development space, you're not going to want to utilize ChatGPT. So anyways, I think I beat this topic enough, and I think I made my point, and I think I conveyed myself and my opinions pretty well. There's probably something that's going to come up later on, but more specifically, I just wanted to share my thoughts on ChatGPT, how irritated I get with it, and just because it's so promoted, it's so encouraged by today's Misguided Mentors, and I'm telling you the opposite. Resist the urge to use ChatGPT and AI as much as possible. Get back to creativity. Use your thoughts, use your feelings, your emotions, use your spirit. Convey yourself, all right? And if you don't know how to do that, then that's something you got to work on, all right? But relying on ChatGPT as a solution because you can't convey yourself and you don't think that like doing it yourself, putting in the effort is going to pay off, then you got some other problems you got to work on. You got some other things that you could improve on, and that's some internal work. So don't rely on ChatGPT. And by the way, like I said, if anybody sees this later and they're all about ChatGPT, you're all about AI and how it's helped you, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear. If you've written an ebook, you've done something with ChatGPT, I'd love to hear that too as well. I'm not gonna make fun of you. Like, there would have been a time where I would have done that. Fortunately, I didn't, and I took the time to actually write my own books, word for word. And I'm glad I did, because I was actually able to take the way I wrote it. I was actually able to take the reader through, especially that first book. I was able to take the reader through what I was going through. Like I almost brought you into that moment by the way I was describing and talking. So I'm really glad I did that, because ChatGPT couldn't have done that. Anyways, I'm going to get off here. I think this was a very nice, brief, powerful message on this topic that doesn't really get talked about. I don't hear too many people discouraging ChatGPT at all. I don't hear people talking about you shouldn't ChatGPT. I've never once heard anybody say don't use ChatGPT. And so I'm glad I'm saying it. You know, in a world where everybody's encouraging to use ChatGPT and AI, I'm saying don't. Trust me, you're gonna be way better off with your projects, with anything that you put your energy on without ChatGPT. Okay. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful to somebody. Thanks for jumping on, Ann, and anybody else who watches this. I will chat with you guys later. Have a good evening. All right.